Merhabalar, ben Ebru Tarım Dilekcan. Süper 7 TV seyircilerine Her Şey Mümkün, Ebru Tarım Dilekcan'la Her Şey Mümkün programından kocaman bir yürek dolusu Londra'dan sevgiler diyorum. Yayınımızı gene bu sefer ben Türkçe başlıyorum ama İngilizce yapacağım. Çok tatlı, çok sevdiğim, yıllardır Access camiasında can bir arkadaşım olan Katherine McIntosh benim misafirim. Ve bu yayını sizler için ben daha sonra Türkçe'ye tercüme edeceğim. Ama yayının tamamı şu anda İngilizce akacak. Neden derseniz bence böylesi hem benim için hem Catherine için çok daha kolay. Ama söz veriyorum size, geçen sefer sanırım hemen yayınlayamadık ama aynı yayın Türkçe olarak da sizlere özel tercüme edilecek hem de benim tarafımdan. Bundan daha iyi nasıl olur diyorum ve keyifli bir yayın olması için neler mümkün deyip I will just jump into talking in English. I just brief Turkish actually. Anyone who's gonna watch, they might be surprised why Ebru is talking in English in this program, but I will translate everything into Turkish with my voice, and that's a pleasure for me. And I know it's an extra work, but I truly enjoy. So welcome, my dear Catherine. It is a pleasure and total honor to have you on my program. How did I get so lucky?
It's such an honor to be here, and I loved listening to you speak in Turkish because, wherever we go today in this conversation, somewhere it's always about energy. And I am fascinated by language, especially languages I don't understand at all. But if you can just receive the energetic information of a different language, like I was smiling the whole time for real because I love hearing the energy. So I love that this is going to be translated and that you are going to translate it.
And I'm delighted. I have to confess, you made me think right now because the way you express all your, feelings right now, I would say, in such a beautiful way. I wish I was translating right now so that I can capture this beautiful energy and reflect to all Turkish people. And I think this is the beauty. I mean, our first language is energy, not English, not Turkish. So I love what you have just said, and I totally echo that one. I'm a translator as well as, being a certified facilitator, but it is true joy to translate people. But anyhow, so I think today we will jump into, you and I, by knowing you, by knowing me, into so many different topics. That's what I'm getting anyhow. And probably to start with, if you would like to say a few sentences about yourself, what Katherine McIntosh is up to in this lifetime. What is she doing? I know you're an author, you're an awesome facilitator, but I know all that stuff, but I don't want to say with my words. I want to actually hear from your words.
I love that. Well, I think it's changed. And what I'm up to now in the world is to make the biggest impact so that people stop thinking they need to work on their problems and start creating their dreams, start going after their dreams. Because, you and I know this, that when you start going after your dreams, you literally change the things that were previously in the way. Right?
Absolutely.
And so for me, I tend to focus on the body as one of the avenues I work in. I live in Aspen, Colorado in the US. I'm a world-class energy intuitive. I've been hired by billionaires and New York Times bestsellers and famous actors. And I've worked with all kinds of people, and the energy and the information is always the same. We're all just looking to live our best lives. We're all just looking for some peace and happiness. And that is different for every single person. And so I feel really honored that I get the chance to, one, live where I live. And I can't wait to come visit Turkey. It's been on my list since I met you.
I know. We have been talking about it.
And it calls me. Turkey, there are places on the planet where they call me loudly. And Turkey has been calling me loudly for about 7 years.
Yeah, I know. I think I was just going to ask you, actually, when was the first time we have spoken about that? And that was long ago.
7, 8 years ago.
I know. And you have been an Access Consciousness facilitator for how long? I just want to
10 years.
10 years, yeah. I'm 12 years, so obviously more or less, similar times. What you have been saying, I also want to pick up actually. Bodies are also one of my passionate area that I love talking about. I love doing workshops, so we will definitely touch on to that one. And also dreams, like the way that you start expressing that area is so important. I think nowadays we can easily say that last couple of years or last few years have been tough for so many people. And more focus was actually on problems rather than going after dreams, especially during this time. Like you and I probably are the crazy people talking about going after our dreams and not giving up on our dreams. And if you follow our dreams, everything will be sorted. So this is for some people a little bit delusional, like it's not real. It cannot be happen. So what can you and I have today? This is also my intentions. I love starting anything with some intentions. What would it take for us to be able to express, maybe in a way, some people can actually start thinking, yeah, okay, I can go after my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
If these two ladies are actually saying that way, and if they're expressing themselves that way, and if they too are able to follow, why not? We can do that as well. So from that perspective, if people are going through quite challenging times right now in Turkey, which is the case, I mean, whoever I'm talking to, I mean, interestingly enough, I'm based in London, you know me, and I have been abroad to Turkey last 22 years, but my main focus and my main business is with Turkish people, which is a little bit of a crazy thing to do, but I love actually bringing all the beauties that you and I able to express to Turkish people. And what can we say right now that they can hear from us? What is it that you can tune into their energy, their little bit desperation because of the, currency, because of this, because of, everything. What can you say to them that they can hear right now?
Yeah, so a couple things. First is I would say that everywhere in the world is experiencing extreme challenges, right? Everywhere and everyone on the planet, we're in unprecedented times. And so, this is something that I look at, and it's from a lot of different avenues, which is that we're always practicing something, right? And this is probably something Joe Dispenza talks about. We're always practicing something. So if we're waking up every day stressed, we're practicing stress, right? And so it's beginning to flip that script and start to practice not the big dreams, but the small ones, right? So if you're somebody who's experiencing war or violence or financial hardship, it is not time today to go looking for your pot of gold, right? It is not time today to be like, I'm going to go after my dreams, because the truth is your nervous system is in survival mode, right? But it might be time to begin to journal about your dreams. It might be time to practice thinking about what it would be like when you had more money. It might be time to dream about the next place you'll travel to in the world when you can afford it, right? It might be time to think about buying yourself a new outfit. And so every day we practice something. And it's a matter of we get used to practicing stress, saying that we don't have time to practice our dreams. But if everybody can pick one thing that they could practice, I actually just got off a group coaching call, and they were like, I don't like meditation. And I was like, great, I don't either. But I love how I feel afterwards.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love meditation, and I wasn't a meditator.
In a group setting, I'm not the great person who does it herself well, but I do it every day. Right? I don't love running, but I love how running feels. I don't like taking an ice cold shower, but I love how I feel after I take it. So most of us say we don't have time for our dreams, but yet we have plenty of time for stress, for judgment, for complaining, for being pissed off. And so it's really a matter of if you value you, you'll make time for the things that you value.
Mm. And there are not many people actually who are able to express the way that you're able to express, because you are, I know you, and you're living that way.
Mhm.
And I mean, this is the beauty of you. Like, I can feel the energy, I can feel the, all these, I don't want to even say positivism, but this is the way that how we should be all looking into life, regardless of what is going on in our lives and in our countries or across the planet. So that is the attitude. This is actually a choice. I also had a session with a lady this morning, and I mean, she's functioning from a choiceless universe, and there isn't much to do unless she's able to see these choices. And right now, what you're suggesting is almost like you have the choice in the morning, every morning. Like, what do you want to choose this morning? Are you willing to be stressing yourself with existing problems, or
Mhm.
you want to choose something else? Meditation is one of them, or doing something with your body, like it might be yoga, it might be breath exercise, or anything which is actually gonna lift up your energy. That's the main kind of messages we are trying to give all the people. And it's almost, I mean, you and I have also another second desire, I would say. Joe Dispenza, you already throw the beautiful name over there. It's like breaking the habit,
Mhm.
what we used to do, how we used to start a day. And the majority of people are doing this. Are you one of them, or are you wanna be yourself and change that? And the interesting thing also, Catherine, are you also observing there are more and more people, regardless of how tough time we are going through, more and more people are choosing that. Like, I have just come from another event that I was in Mexico last 2 weeks. You were like 1,800 people, like almost 2,000 people across the planet, 6+ countries asking, desiring that. And everyone's desire is just to be best version of themselves, like dare to be you, as Dr. Joe says, like dare to be authentic,
Mhm.
dare to be original.
Mhm.
And I think our original version is not necessarily stressed, depressed at all.
No, and the other thing that you mentioned, right, breaking the habit, it literally is if you can't fathom the idea of giving your dreams space, then change your environment, right? Move your furniture around. Brush your teeth with your left hand instead of your right hand in the morning. Get out of bed on the right side instead of the left side. Take a different route to work. Wear something you've never worn before that might feel completely outrageous. Do your hair differently,
Yeah,
right? Like, switch up your environment, because the minute you start switching up your environment, you start to see the world differently.
definitely.
And you start to also experience the world differently. So when you see things differently, you experience them differently.
Yeah, and also you're actually suggesting just come out of your comfort zone. Like,
Come out of your comfort
yeah,
zone.
exactly. Like, we have been all sitting, I including myself, like I'm challenging myself. This is why, like, last 4 months, I was in 4 different events of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if anyone have done it, but it is crazy. But it is almost like with COVID and everything, like we have been sitting a lot, and I was enjoying it online, everything, but now is the time to travel, and as you beautifully say, just like follow your dreams, discover why you're here. I also keep challenging people. I don't know, I'm more outspoken than before. Like, it's almost like pushing people even more, like pushing myself even more, and like, are you really happy what you're having right now?
Mhm.
No. And would you like to change it? And if not now, when what are we all waiting?
And I think, Ebru, that people are really craving connection,
Hmm.
right? They're craving meaning. They're craving aliveness, because like, the quickest way to value something is to take it away from somebody. And they're like, "Oh, don't take that away from me. I want that." And so we all in the last 3 years have experienced things being taken away from us. And now we realize how important and valuable those things are, and we're like reevaluating the importance of life, the importance of living, the importance of like our health, the importance of our families, the importance of people that we care about, the importance of waking up and choosing something that has and gives meaning, right? And what is meaningful to you and me may not be meaningful to someone else. So the message, I think, to everyone when we talk about dreams, it's in its simplified form is go find something that means something to you. Go find meaning in your life that you can wake up and be like proud that you're like basking in it and cultivating it and, cherishing, because what's meaningful to us may not be meaningful. So go find what's meaningful to you and do more of it.
Which will definitely probably enlighten people's day anyway. And I love the way you're also saying, like, it's almost like baby steps. Like every day is a different, like you and I are a bit different because we are just like across the planet willing to do so many things. We have our books and everything, and we will come to your book. So it doesn't, this is also the challenge, Catherine. You just pin something that I know so many people are keep saying that. So they keep saying, Ebru, it's easy for you to say that, And they might be saying, Catherine, it's easy for you to say that. But we are almost like looking for ways, how can it be easy for you as well?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a choice. And also what I'm more and more recognizing, you're well spot on with the connection part. But also there are a lot of people who are also creating separation by just what I explained, a second ago, like by the way that they look at us, see us is also a way of creating some separation. Because they can be easily way better version of themselves. They are not choosing it. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like my personal message to people who are listening us right now. I mean, if you're really not happy what is going on in your life right now, maybe just pick up one thing, my dear friend Catherine is saying, just one simple step each day. And as in a way you said that, like, it's a confession time. You said you didn't like cold shower, you didn't like running, and I know you're a sporty lady. You do skiing and snowboarding, and you do all these crazy winter sports as well. And the body, when body feels also much better after any activity, that also brings the joy. Because I mean, I keep saying body. Let's move to the topic of body. Actually, body is the biggest gift to us, and biggest friend, even before our partners, husbands, wives, kids, parents, anyone in our life. Like body is the only actually, for me, company to my life in this lifetime. So are we taking care of it? Are we listening it? Are we enjoying it? Are we letting our body to express itself? So what would you say about our bodies? What would,
Well, it's actually fascinating. I'm going to weave in what you said prior, which is most people can look at us and go, oh, well, that's easy for you to say. And I think, Ebru, we can both, wait, there we go. Camera's off. Wait, you can't see it. But you and I broke our wrists.
You broke wrist, I broke shoulder.
Yeah, but we both broke something in our body almost at the same time within like a couple weeks of each other. Yeah. Right. And so the challenges that you and I have faced are no different than any challenges anyone else has faced. The change is that the perspective that we have, right? And so when it comes to bodies, like I wrote my book, and
I want to see it more. I want to see it more. Please put it more.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold it for a while. Don't diet. Be happy. Look at this. I love the way you're just doing creating the business, body, and life you love. I love it. I love the smile.
In the very first opening statement of the book is me being 17 and my brother almost killing, like I had a knife to my throat and I almost died. And the reason I start the book that way was to say, you think my life is easy looking at me? Oh no. Oh no. And there are so many other hardships that I've endured, lost a lot of money twice, it doesn't matter. But the point is, I spent my whole life thinking that if I could just change my body, then my life would be happy. Then I would be happy. Then I could go after my dreams. And actually the opposite was true, is I had to give up trying to change my body. Now, people look at me and go, you're athletic, you're sporty, you're sexy, why do you worry about your body? But in my head, it was like, I spent months not leaving my house because I thought I was too fat and ugly. I spent years hiding from the world. And so I know what it feels like. And what changed for me was if you are somebody who really struggles with your body, so whether that's pain, whether that's a disease or an injury or a physical appearance that you are obsessed with, there is probably a 95% chance that you have a gift or a capacity underneath the thing you're struggling with. So for me, bodies are like looking at a painting. And if the painting gives me a weird experience, there's something underneath that painting I can't see. And I need to be able to look at that painting, and so that the beauty of the painting can come out, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
And
Absolutely.
so when we break bones, when we, lose clients or money, when we go through a heartache or a breakup or a divorce, when we lose a child, when we lose a loved one, we can get very closed down in trying to find the meaning of why. But I think my personal opinion is that's a wrong approach. Right? Please experience the pain. Please experience the grief. Please experience the sadness. But on the other side of that experience of pain or overwhelm or sadness is the beauty of what you are meant to be in the world. And so if you're someone who suffers with your body, this is my personal opinion, you're not living your best life.
Yeah.
You are stuck feeling trapped by life circumstances. You're stuck being a victim. And the body's like, I want to live. I want to dream. I want to play. I want to connect. I want to create meaning where there isn't any. And so for 20 years, I struggled with anorexia, bulimia, like an eating disorder, lots of images. I never thought I was pretty. I never thought I was sexy. And I share that because for 20 years, I missed out on being what I now am in the world, which is a message for people that says, the judgments you have of yourself aren't real. The reasons you have to not go after your dreams, they're not real. You just have made them real with practice. So the body is our best energetic source of information, but it doesn't communicate in words. So it pisses most people off because they're like, we don't understand. I'm like, well, your pain is really loud. So that's like a little child screaming at the top of his lungs, right? Or you're hungry. So that's like a lion roaring in the desert who is looking for meat, right? And so our bodies will always communicate in energy. And if we can learn, that's why I loved listening to you speak Turkish, because I was smiling with the energy of your energy, right? And so if we can learn to translate the energy of our body, we can set our lives free.
Wow, I can listen to you for hours and hours. It's hard for me not to interrupt, because I have to say I did some programs before you, and I was hardly holding myself, and I need to remind myself I'm just like, I'm the program owner. I should be talking less, but I couldn't help. But you managed to stop me.
Bring it.
I'm not interrupting you. I love it. I love the way, because I had missed it so much. This is probably why. I was trying to remember, we are in the same online events, like certified facilitator training. the last one. I remember seeing you, but we haven't been in person together in the same place for so long. So that's probably why I miss you. So I miss your energy. And I have to also confess, the way I remember you, even in any events, like this is interesting. Now I'm going to talk about your body. The way you carry your body, like the stuff you put as clothes, which is like, I remember seeing myself or looking at you, like, can't take, well, this is a song, it's a cliche, but like, can't take my eyes off you, literally. Like, this is how I remember you. And it's also how funny, like, you're talking about, what process you have gone through in your life. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for your vulnerability. And I can't wait to read your book, actually. If people would like to, there are lots of English speaker people, obviously, in Turkey. If people would like to read your book, where they can find it, Catherine, before we forget.
They can order it, but they can also download the very first chapter for free in English.
From your website, is that how it
From
works?
my website.
Okay.
Yep. So if they just go to KatherineMcIntosh.com, there's a little banner that says "Get the book," and they
Okay.
click on that banner, and then that will take you to the book page, and you can download the first chapter for free. You can order the book on Amazon, or you can also order it through AccessConsciousness.com.
Brilliant. But I will put that one in notes as well. I can't wait to read your book. You cannot read mine yet because it's in Turkish, not English yet.
I wish I could be your translator.
Yeah, actually, it's already translated, but it's in the process of editing, and I know editing is a little bit tedious job, even for me. And we can now a little bit maybe talk about your book. Like, we already start talking about body, like, don't diet, be happy. I mean, I don't think your book is all about, dieting. Definitely not. It's just the cover. And I've already read, like, your life, your business, the one you create. This is the subtitles, and I love it. Business there as well, because I know you're a businesswoman.
Well, it's to say that the book is really about how often we hide our gifts from the world because we use our bodies as the excuse, right? My body's in pain, or I'm getting old, and so this book is really about my own personal journey, but also it offers a lot of tools and tips and things that like, Jack Canfield read the book. He loved it. He printed some of the questions. He started asking himself questions, and the inflammation he had been dealing with for a very long time started to go away.
Wow.
Anyway, Catherine, this book needs to be in the world. And so the book is about this concept that if you are judging your body, if you're making yourself wrong, if you're finding fault in who you are, it's probably because you're hiding your gifts. So my story, hating my body, I was hiding that I was very intuitive with bodies. But I didn't know I was intuitive with bodies. I didn't know I was psychic. I didn't know that someone could say, "Oh, my shoulder," and I would touch their lower hip and it would change. And so it wasn't until I started to go after my dreams that my body started to change. And I went, "Oh, I don't have a problem with my body. I have a problem with my gifts." And so pain is a door or a barrier between you and your gifts. Weight is a barrier between you and your gifts. Lack of money is a barrier between you and your gifts. You're probably really good with money, but you don't know it because all you know is the wrongness of it. And, Access says your wrongness is usually your greatest strongness. And that is true. And so anything that we're struggling with, we can't change it from the place of struggle. We have to change it from the place of the beauty or the gift or the aliveness. And so when people come to me with their problems, they're trying to change it from the same place as the problem, and it can't change. So you have to rise above the problem and change it from a completely different place so that people can see that a diet is not the solution.
At all.
It might help, right? A doctor is not always the solution. It might help, right? Winning the lottery is not the solution. It might help, but the solution is always inside of us to ask, like, the universe kind of pokes us and goes, are you going to become who we know you are? Are you going to like stop playing small? And, you know, for some people, stop playing small might be like, are you going to be the best mom you can be raising your children? Everybody's version of happiness, we have to be really real with what's true for us and go after that. So if your dream is to become a stay-at-home mom, then like go for it, right?
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
If you're raising amazing children, you're changing the world. Plain and simple.
I'm so glad you just jumped into parenting, because I know you have a lovely son. I have a daughter of 15 years old. Yours is not teenager yet. You're lucky between us.
He's 10. He just turned 10.
Okay, 10 is still, you know, old enough, but like still some time to go. So enjoy, make most of it until teenage. That's also another gift, isn't it? Like having kids, like at our ages, I would say probably we are more or less around the same age. I'm just guessing. Age doesn't mean anything to me, but like what I'm trying to say, having a child, you know, in our lives are also bringing lots of other things, like not only responsibility, but like their joy, their enthusiasm, their energy, and their challenges, especially our kids. Like, I mean, I can't imagine a boy choosing you as a mom. God knows who is he bringing to this world, or what is he gonna bring, you know, to this world. Exactly. So what do you want to say about like being a parent, like with the journey that you are going at? I know you are also raising him yourself, and we sometimes chat about it is challenging mom time, full-time mom.
Full-time mom, full-time business owner, full-time, all of it. You know, I'll say this about it for me personally, Ebru, it's kind of like a relationship with your body, or parenting can be equated to that in this way, is nobody can tell you how to parent. Nobody, like you have to be in the moment, in the presence of the teenage years and the rebellious years and the you know, the not so pretty times. And guess what? You're not going anywhere. You're still there. And you find ways to navigate that with your child. And, you know, same thing with the body. Nobody can tell you how to have a relationship with your body. You have to discover the way that works for you, just like you did with parenting. It's not like when we like gave birth, they're like, here's your manual for your child. And it's like, with their particular name, and these are their likes and these are their dislikes, and this is how you're going to raise them, and this is how they're going to succeed. Like we don't get a parenting manual, because every child is completely different. They have different needs, they have different wants, they have different desires, they speak different languages, they were raised in different cultures. Same with our physical bodies. Our body did not come with a manual. It's up to us to translate that, and only you can discover your truth with what works for your body, right? Ice cold showers in the last 6 months work for me, right? Intermittent fasting currently, because I'm going through hormone changes, works for me. Intermittent fasting 20 years ago was called anorexia. At least I took it to the extreme. It didn't work for me. I almost died. So it's about, you wouldn't parent your 15-year-old the same way you parented her when she was 1. You wouldn't parent her the same way when she was 7. And so just like our physical bodies have different needs at different times based on life, on the planet, on like evolving, right? And it's the same thing with our kids. It's the same thing with our relationships. It's the same thing with our businesses. Stop thinking one solution is going to work. It doesn't. It's not a solution. It's am I willing to be present enough to sit with this until I know the truth?
We just want to stay in this last sentence for a while to digest, I would say. Wow. Wow, it's amazing. It's just like, I just can't wait to see you, actually. I have to say, hug you and just feel your body.
That's
What would it take? No,
I'm same. I need to come to London.
You should.
I was in London this summer, but we missed.
I know. I heard that we miss each other. I was in Turkey, and then I came back for Dr. Joe's event. Actually, it was in the middle of August as well, and then flew back again to Turkey. I also love to see in Turkey too. What would it take that to be actualized? And I love the way to say it that way. Like, what would it take this to be actualized sooner than we could possibly think of?
Balloon
rather than waiting. Let's create that. I want to ask you, what type of classes you also deliver workshops? I know based on your book you do lots of stuff, and I just want to have a little bit flavor of what do people can listen and understand and make a demand. What would it take Katherine's workshops and trainings to be all over the world with the book signing events beforehand? Well,
my current it's changing, so currently
I'm not surprised at all.
I mean, currently I do have 3-day in-person workshops on basically on the contents in this book, right? And Don't Die, Be Happy. And, in different parts of the world, it's translated. So I was in Hungary this summer and it was translated in Hungarian. I've been translated in Romanian. I've been translated in Spanish and, and soon Turkey. What would it take when the time is right? It will happen. But I also do a lot of online workshops. So workshops about cultivating your intuition and being really clear with yourself, and workshops on the body and how to get out of your own way on the body. So, and I'm also starting a radio show in January that's going to be live streamed online all over the world. And it'll be available in different countries and, everywhere. And it's going to be, once a week. And the topic is called Trusting Your Gut, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting. And then I'm also just starting a podcast, and I work with, private clients all over the world. And I just feel really lucky. I mean, things are changing, and everyone can find the information on my website. As we evolve, we update. And yeah, it's exciting.
Brilliant. It is exciting. And I love this 3-day workshop thing, and your book and everything. Your book, what would you take that to be in Turkish?
Yes, please.
To be published as well. Yeah. We are putting all these energies, sweetheart. And I'm like, I can't help but I listen to people when they're taking notes as well. So these notes are it's not on the air only. It's not verbal. It's written. Written as well. Turkey is there. What would you say? Definitely. And it will happen. I can perceive that one. I mean, we have spoken about that good number of years ago, but obviously we have been just putting the seeds. Now is the time, sweetheart. And I can't wait to hear more of, your new dreams. I just almost want to dare to ask, are there any plan? Is there any plan for next book or next books? I'm sure
it's already written.
I was gonna say it's full. This is why I'm asking. If it's not meant to be spoken, I do respect that one, because my second book is already with the published firm, with a different co-creator as well, with 2 authors. We came together and we want to write something about parenting. Hello, how did we end up in this topic? Don't even ask. So whatever you want to say about your next book, it will be fun to say if you are willing to share. If not, we can just move on.
It's kind of a deeper dive into this.
Okay.
So this is sort of like the beginning. And actually secretly, I hope that the book turns into a movie, because it's more like a novel with some life lessons in it. It's the story of, you know, getting married in a foreign country to a man who didn't speak any English, and on our honeymoon, him cheating on me, and I got thrown overboard in the middle of the ocean. Like, it's kind of a cool story.
Wow.
So the book is just about the things that you think that happen to you in your life that are the reasons you stop you are actually the reasons to not stop you. So we all have trauma. We all have stories of pain and loss and grief and suffering. And the message in that book is, so what? And I don't mean that cavalier. And I have a right to say that because there are a lot of, like, people say, you could be a Hollywood movie. I'm like, I think my life is a Hollywood movie, right?
Sounds
Because
like it.
I have had lots of trauma, lots of drama, lots of abuse, lots of painful experiences, and I'm still here, and I still have a smile on my face, and every day I wake up grateful. And so the message in that book is, don't let your life traumas stop you from enjoying your best life, stop you from living. Like, really, just because you had a bad, you know, one-time marriage, or like, I feel fortunate to meet people all over the world that hide in shame with what they've been through. And I look at them and I'm like, so what? And they're like, what? And I'm like, we could both swap stories. So what? And they exhale because they realize I'm not judging what they've been through. They exhale because so what? No pain is enough to make you stop living.
Yeah. I love that line, actually.
Until you're ready to stop living,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
But most painful experiences grow us. They make us evolve. They make us recalibrate. Like, am I living my best life? If not, then it's time to make a change.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love the line, so what? This is what I used to use a lot when I'm talking, even some Turkish people, like, I mean, I have to say, I mean, in every culture, but in our culture, probably this is the closest, and I can be a little bit biased. We love stories. We love exchanging stories. And I'm like, I was naive enough or kind enough, caring maybe deeply enough to keep listening them until I'm kind of like, really like, so what? As you just said, like, what is the next chapter in your book? It's
well,
almost like, yeah.
and how cool would it be, Ebru, if we started to, instead of having stories of, not that they're not valuable. I wrote about my stories. It's not, they're valuable. It's when we're in the emotion of the story to stop living. But what if we could start creating a world in which the most important stories we started telling ourselves were the stories of our future, the stories of our dreams, the stories of, like, you know, coming alive. Like, what would it be like if people recognized, even in their suffering, if they started talking about their dreams, it would shift their life.
Definitely. It will shift their energy right away.
Ding.
And let's maybe close up with the lines that you have been saying, like, you can't wait your problems to be sorted in order to start having your dreams or exploring your dreams. You need to explore your dreams first. And you didn't express that way, but what we are saying is actually, like, you need to change your energy. You need to change your energy by actually changing things in your life. And you better to start now. I'm also like delighted that we are making this program towards the end of this year, which is almost like for everybody. It's the end of a year and beginning of new year. And I keep getting this message, interesting enough, Catherine, from everything and everyone. Like, if not now, when? Truly, like, if the whole world is changing so dynamically, like, as you said, like, not only in our personal lives, everyone, like, you have your tough times, I have my tough times, everyone has. So if we're not going to explore our dreams right now, are we going to wait another life? You know? No, let's actually, the line I would like to at least conclude my words, like, what would it take, whatever is preventing us to chase, to explore our dreams, now what would it take for us to see that and change that and choose something different in 2023? Is another challenging year for both of us, I guess, for all of us, for the whole planet. But these challenges also showing us how how I would say like miraculous, how gifted, how potent we are all that we're facing this challenging time. And I am one of these people, like, will never ever live hope in humanity, hope for our planet, never ever. That's my biggest light, I would say. Like, if I'm the only one holding it, I keep saying this to people, I'm the one gonna hold it. Like, I'm hopeful people like us will actually wake up,
Yeah.
show up, in their lives. And what would it take 2023 to be the year to actualize that? And what would it take our conversation in this like limited maybe 45 minutes to be an inspiration to them? And you have been a true inspiration to me, even with this length, and I had truly miss you. And what would you like to say, these lovely Turkish people, or anyone who are listening us? You should be sharing this probably, program across any media you want to use it, because it's in English. So let's use it. And yeah, your lines for 2022, closing up this program and opening for 2023, what would that be, Katherine McIntosh? Tell me.
I just think that the message is like, be selfish. And what I mean by that is, when you put you first and you value you first, then you change the world. And so if you're going around saying, well, I don't have time because I have to take care of my family, or I don't have the energy because I'm putting it all in this business, or I can't afford it, right? My invitation to everyone is, you might want to be really aware of the words you're telling yourself, because probably the truth is, you can't afford not to take the time. You can't afford not to afford, like please do what you need to do. Like, I just had a friend's house burned down. She just moved into a brand new house, burnt to the ground 3 days ago. And her message was, don't worry about the possessions, have the experiences. And so, to anyone and everyone listening, be selfish, go after your dreams, take the trip, have the adventure, go on vacation, do the things that make you come alive, because life is too short.
Yeah. Thank you. Love you, sweetheart. I mean, it's a pleasure and honor. What would it take maybe to have a follow-up program in 2023? I can't wait to see how your book is progressing. When second book gonna come out? It's an exciting time.
I want your book in English so I can read it.
Yes, put some energy on that one. It's a little bit like going with the Churchill pace, but I just like this a bit of it. Your
Sometimes.
beautiful energy will contribute. Yeah, it is taking its time, and whenever it is, it's gonna happen. So thank you. And I would say to all our watchers, listeners, these lovely people, like, it has been a real pleasure to have that long time with you in English. And don't forget, it will be translated into Turkish, and it will be a separate video prepared only for you Turkish people. And maybe with these messages, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas Eve, whatever we can say. Bye, sweetheart.
Oh, bye.
Take care of you. Bye-bye.